What is up, everyone? Welcome to the last episode of Let's Open Some Toys. I gotta fix my camera, it's a little bit too high up. Uh, of the year of 2025. This is episode 29. I'd like to welcome everyone to the channel. My name is Larry, and let's go ahead and take a look at the chat real fast. Not a lot of people watching, but my friend Mr. Ryan Clark is here. What's going on, buddy? I'm so proud of my friend, Mr. Ryan Clark, for actually getting onto the Toy Pick community's top 10 of the week for this week. And I know they will be talking about that on Monday, so I will definitely be, well, probably Monday. They normally talk about it on Monday. Sometimes Toy Father will get up during the day on a weekend, like a Sunday morning or something, and go over it then, but I know they're going to be talking about it. So, what is up, my friend? Yeah, you're very much welcome. He just posted another picture today that was really cool too on his Instagram. So if you do not follow at Mr. Ryan Clark, and I forgot, and I really do apologize. I just thought about this after we did our stream last week because he was my guest, and I totally forgot to have him plug where he's at and what he does. But I know, you catch him on Instagram at Mr. Ryan Clark, and you can also catch him on a couple other shows, at least one on Tuesday nights. Ryan, you're gonna have to help me with this in the chat, and I'll have to put it up because I keep forgetting. Is it on 1/6 Shooters channel or is it someone else's channel? Why do I got lines on my head? Weird. I've been lazy today. But yeah, but obviously, if like I said, check out Mr. Ryan Clark's Instagram page, and he does some really cool work. Anyway, as I said in the description for this show today, this is the last show of one. I'm trying to get myself centered for the vertical view for the cell phone watchers out there. Hi, people. This is like kind of an episode of reflection. And what do I mean by that? Well, I kind of want to go over the growth of not necessarily the channel, but I mean, because it's not really growing that much, which is fine by me. But um, it's more like growth of the community that I jumped into, and all kinds of. Okay, here we go. What? I asked Brian for this. Yeah, he's on Toy Photography Talk on Moz Toy Box channel every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, definitely check him out on there because it's usually him, 1/6 Shooter, obviously Moz, and a few other people from time to time. I try to catch it normally. I'm on my way to work. Vernon Potter. Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Nice seeing your new face in the chat. So more the merrier, I always say. But yeah, so this is the last live stream of the year. I'm still debating if I'm going to do one next weekend or not. Almost didn't do one today, but I really kind of wanted to get on. I do have one thing to open, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Because if I just go straight to opening up action figures, we're kind of just in and out and done. But last week I did our top. It was supposed to be top 5, but it kind of just went to just top whatever amount of figures we liked throughout the year that we picked up, and it was just great. And he just posted his top. Mr. Ryan Clark just posted his top 5 on his Instagram exactly in order, which were, I want to say, everything was what he talked about on the show that week. And I'm trying to fix my AWOC Ranger. He fell over and all of his arrows just fell over my keyboard. Anyhow, I don't know why I feel nervous talking today. Probably because I didn't have anything really prepared. That's usually how I am when it comes to this show. It's just always off the cuff, and I kind of just say what's on my mind. And I, didn't start until a little bit later because I was still trying to fix my lights. If you hadn't checked out my Instagram, I did a cool holiday photo on that, and you know what? I didn't even get that set up. I probably should key that up. And get that out of here. There we go. because I think other people might want to see what I've been up to. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it is also at Larry's Geeky World. Oh, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it. Let me see. Download. I didn't download anything. I'm trying to get everything set up here so we can get. Be patient with me, folks. I will get this set up here in a minute. Okay. Let me get that off of here. Before I even launch. That is not what I wanted. I want to go to. There we go. Oh, great. If I can get it to load and be where I want it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead. Oh, let's say we got some more people in the chat. We got Hunter Kane, K5I. What's up, buddy? How's it going? We have Emerson in 8. I guess that's supposed to be an L, lowercase L. How's it going? I don't understand the crying, sobbing emoji, but welcome to the show. I am terrible at pronunciation. Turn on Michael Jackson Smooth Criminal Studio Recreation 1992. I really love that album. I love Smooth for that whole Moonwalker thing back in the day. Oh god, I'm gonna show my age. Love that whole thing. I'm gonna sub and like. Oh, I appreciate that, Emerson. Really cool. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at, before I go into a bunch of spiel about the growth of everything. I'm gonna kind of show off the Christmas photo I had posted on Christmas Day on Instagram, which got a lot of attention. It's not my it's probably technically my best work, but I'm still really, really new to the whole toy photography thing. It's not exactly what I was hoping it would turn out to be, because there was a lot of other stuff I was going to put in, but I still couldn't figure out stuff. But we're going to bring that up here. And here it is. My little Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, a fun get together for the holidays at Cat's Lair. Thundercats, ho, ho, ho! Yeah, I'm a nerd. Anyway, you can see I just made up, took the Cat's Lair playset from Super 7 and my Super 7 Ultimates, Thundercats, and the Silverhawks, and just went ahead and, did a neat little Christmas party photo. And I'm going to have to give a really big shout out to Yimbo of the Toy Daddies, or Yimbo Reviews Everything, for putting me onto these teeny tinies for the food accessories. Really worked out well for this shot, considering I found the Christmas theme one at my local Walgreens right by my house. Let's see, take a look at the chat real quick. Summer Sleigh 16A, how's it going? Welcome to the show. This is a series of photos that I took. Thundercats having a good old time at the Cat's Lair with their guests, their friends of Third Earth, and the Silverhawks. Even though it was never, I don't think it was ever established that they were in the same universe in the 80s, but everyone puts them and all of them and Tiger Sharks together. And I'm not too familiar with Tiger Shark, because I remember it being around, but I never watched it, so. But, this is kind of what my idea was for the most part. I had other lights I was going to hang up, but I couldn't figure out how to get them to connect without, damaging or ruining the playset. But this is just using 2 ring lights to light it up, because, you think Cat's Lair is going to be bright. It's not going to be a bunch of different other lights. Some areas don't have any windows. But, so I don't have any of the other things like that. Got Bluegrass here hanging out, jamming out while Snarf and Snarfer and Steel Heart just hanging out, listening to them to play probably a nice little Christmas ditty on his guitar. We got Tigra and Bengali hanging out at what I use his lab as like a coffee bar. One guy in the chat who left a comment got that one right away. And of course, this got Jaga looking up there with the Tally Hawk, another little Christmas tree. And I actually have my girlfriend has these little lights that came with her little Demon Slayer custom set that she got Dio from Legion's Con, and she has some that are red and some that are blue. I use 3 of these little blue lights, LED lights. I have like 2 right behind them and one kind of in front, but it's like behind the Cat Slayer logo here to kind of help light them up. That's why you see the blue glow. I don't have any like After Effects software to use, so I wouldn't know how to do any of that. Like I said, I'm still really new at this. And then of course a shot of where you see most of them. You see all the birds, all the Silverhawks companion birds. And yes, that tree does light up. It blinks like crazy. And I got little Christmas trees from my local Michael. They were like 50% off because it was close to near Christmas, so all the Christmas decor was pretty much already off the shelves and moving on to other stuff. And of course, that was just a preemptive shot when I was trying to set up initially, and of course that. Yeah, I was hoping it would turn out a little bit better than that, as best as I could do. If I knew how to, if I had like some kind of After Effects software, because I do this all completely on my phone. I do all the editing on my phone. The only thing I have is Lightroom, and which is the free version, and I'm still trying to learn how to use that too, because I don't, I don't get a lot of time to really mess around with it as much as I would like to. But yeah, that's what I was up to this holiday and on Christmas. I was up to like 4:30 in the morning trying to get that shot because I got home from work and lay down and took a nap on Christmas Eve, and that's why I had to work Christmas Eve. So I was up about 4:30 in the morning, Christmas Day, working on that to get that posted up on Instagram, and it blew up. I got way more likes than I typically get on something I've posted myself that wasn't like a collab with somebody else that they posted, just had my name on it. That K-pop Demon Slayer thing that I was added to it's still getting a bunch of stuff. It's still getting a bunch of likes and stuff. But yeah, it makes me, I don't want to say, well, it makes me happy, I guess, that I got a lot of likes, especially from We Want More Thundercats. Edmund from that. If you're not familiar with his channel, he was actually, I think, the first one I had. We Want More Thundercats. Of course, Mr. Ryan Clark. I always appreciate your tips and your inspiration. Really, you and 1/6 Shooter and everyone else in the toy pick community. I mean, Yimbo does some really cool stuff, and Toy Father and No Chewing. They have some really cool photos for Christmas up too. I think this is probably one of my favorite shots though, with the bluegrass and got Snowman of Hook Mountain holding a present. And those presents, by the way, these little presents here, my girlfriend and her son Jonathan made those for me. Yeah, little bits of cardboard. They folded it up in boxes and then wrapped them with actual wrapping paper. And they made a bunch. You can't really see too many of them because I have some around that tree. Yeah, there you go. You see a one there. Of course, you still kind of see the cable. I didn't hide that well. Just Copper Kid, just in all of the tree because he's not used to it from his planet. And then the tricky part was getting that blue tack or stick tack. It wasn't the blue one to actually stay on the character's hands and try to make it not visible, where they can hold things like with. Because I actually had to use a little bit for Wily Cat here with that little gift in his hand, and especially with Wily Kit with the bottle of sprinkles. But yeah, so I kind of think I wish I would have gone through with some kind of wash or something, make these look a little bit more realistic. But these are all mostly cartoon-looking characters anyway, so I think it still worked out pretty well. But yeah, so there is what I was up to, and And of course, all the cool stuff. I think one of the things I posted this, of course, I got our little Christmas tree thing I posted the same day, a little reel, which I'm not going to have the audio play. And this was our actual tree right before we opened up the presents. You know, the cat kept wanting to lay underneath the tree and knocking over the figures I had under the tree at one point. A little white kitty cat. And yes, those are mostly all Hallmark keepsake ornaments, all superhero wise. And if you look closely, I don't because I can't zoom into this. If you look closely at the tree, you might notice a couple other things inside the tree. So if you haven't looked at that, check it out. You might see something in the tree. If you're a Mythic Legions fan, if you went to Legions Con, you might notice. I keep moving myself out of center of the camera. I'm just going to spoil it. There's a couple gladiators from the Armory experience. They want to click that. That's in the tree. We have green one and the green demon and the black demon body ones. Those are my girlfriends. You wanted to put those in the tree, and you can barely see them. So anyway, but yeah, so there it was. That's the Christmas post. Last post I did was this little thing going over to Skeletron, Robo Skull accessory stuff. And this thing here is like a kind of a soft, kind of rubbery, not really super rubbery, but it's, really kind of thick, and it just squeezes right into the eye sockets of that thing. It's really cool. And again, another shout out to the guys at Skeletron for getting me replacement wings when they didn't have to. It's really cool. And then finally got into messing with this with the little 4-inch figure, taking all the parts off and swapping them out, which are really simple to do, even though it's really small. I was kind of afraid I was going to tear the little nubs off of that, and I'm glad I didn't. Me still trying to figure out, depth of field and keep the figure in focus, even though it's only in my hand. But I think I did a decent job on that. So, and a little bit of comparisons about the size and paint differences on the 6-inch head here and in the 4-inch head that came with the original pilot for the Robo Skull, and of course the helmets and chest armor. But yeah, so there's that. And so that was my Instagram post for the holidays. Other than that, besides I did post a clip that kind of got I did post a reel from me and Ryan's show together from last week, which I figured it would get some kind of response, but I didn't think it was going to get the response it did. And this is the clip here. You can't hear it, obviously. I have the audio turned off. And I see what Ryan's saying. No, the head sculpts look more content at the smaller scale. Yeah, he doesn't look as angry, right? Go back to that, actually. It's that's my pinned Jersey Devil. Let's go back to that. Yeah, it does quite look like he's a bit happier, not as angry. He doesn't have that sneering look on him. And but yeah, this head was actually with the accessory set for the 6-inch figure for the Shadow Trooper. So you can make. I just need to get 2 more so I can keep one as the base one, because I already have one set up as the one that came with the Robo Skull. The other one's the base one. Now I just need to get 2 more just so I can use the other, because it was like 3 different heads and 3 other sets of arm, like chest piece armor, to change that figure out, which is really cool. And some extra guns and stuff like that. So make sure I got my mouse on the right page here. But yeah, it's super cool. These things are amazing. You don't need me to say it. You can find all the praise from just mostly Yimbo and No Chewing, and I know they really enjoy them. Yimbo really enjoys them. it was really fun being on his show. And that's another thing I want to kind of talk about today. I do have a figure to open, and I kind of just want to do some reflection on not just the growth of the channel, if you want to call it growth, um, but also, you know, the experiences I had this year, starting going live, what I've learned, what I've I don't want to say accomplished because it's kind of more of the same. It's nothing's really changed. I mean, I made some really cool friends, even though a lot of them are just online. Like Mr. Ryan Clark, have yet to meet him. Um, but being part of getting into a new community of toy collectors, growing from just being a Power Ranger only toy collector, back in the early 2010s, um, when I first got back into collecting action figures in general, and kind of just you know the content that I try to bring forth, the kind of stuff not that I kind of like to want to see, but that I know other people might want to see. It shouldn't always be about what I want to see, obviously, because I'm the one making it. I usually don't rewatch my own stuff except for what I used to have to go through and actually edit all my old like review videos. And that's the thing is like I kind of want to get back into that. I kept going around saying I was going to do my shorts again, and I haven't really done the shorts like I used to do. Those were something that did really well for a while, and I still kind of do want to do that. It's just I have to get better, and that's one thing I learned. It's like I'm really bad at keeping myself or scheduling myself to do this type of stuff on a regular basis because usually I get home from work, I'm exhausted. I don't want to mess with anything. I don't want to set up cameras or things. I used to have fun doing it, and then just life in general kind of wears you down a bit, and it is what it is. I guess that's a saying I think a lot of people don't like to utter, but you know, I got to meet really a bunch of cool people I've been fans with, like Adam from Highly Articulated, Jason from Spiro Toys. I didn't get to talk to 1 6 shooter, but I did get to shake his hand. Um, you know, got to talk to Jeremy Gerard from Four Horsemen Studios for a little bit, and he was really, really nice. And everyone else I got to meet, like I said before in other streams, when we're talking about Legion's Con, getting to meet some of my, I guess, YouTube toy tuber heroes, I guess you could say, like, um, I didn't get a picture with him, Dan Larson, formerly Toy Galaxy, now Secret Galaxy. It's been like that for a little while now, probably over a year. Super kind, generous with his time. Same with Robo from Robo Don't Know. It's just really cool. And there are a bunch of people like also Greg. I keep pronouncing his name wrong, but I just had the thing here. Mr. Schoenberg. This guy here from New to Mythics and Double Jointed. It was nice to get to meet. He's one of the first people I actually went up and talked to that Friday. And of course, I got those stickers plus this. This is what we're going to be opening today, by the way, is my prize from that Double Jointed episode from a couple weeks ago. This came in actually Christmas Eve that these came in from him. A bunch of stickers. So we'll be opening up this retro carded, back metalized, faced Cobra Commander today. Even though he didn't make it in time for my top list of the year, even though the year's not over. But we all know G.I. Joe Classified, that team has been killing it for the last several years. So, but yeah, I'm probably boring a lot of people about my kind of stuff. Right. And he's the only one because I'm not opening up my his tank one. He stays in box. The Mickey Mouse snake. That one stays in box. So this one I was been eyeing this guy, even told Greg because he had watched the stream and noticed the his tank one behind me, and he was afraid of me doubling up on it. But this is the one I've been eyeballing him over at like my local GameStop for a while, and I just didn't pull the trigger. And this carbide really thick too, and it's a little bit banged up, which is fine because, like I said, I'm opening it, and I dropped the little shirt. Where'd it go? But yeah, here you go. In case y'all are on the vertical stream or horizontal stream, I don't know how well it's going to read on either or. You got the card there. I might actually cut that card out, which I haven't done in a while. But if you don't know, these shirts that they do, usually on Double Jointed on Saturday morning toy collector, they give these away a lot. Type of shirts. They're meant to go on your Mythic Legions figure. Death and Plastic Action Figure Armory is who makes these. So this has his, little logo on it, which is really cool. There was a double jointed one that was in purple, but I wanted the dark gray. I thought it looked black, but that was probably just because of his poor lighting in that room. But be looking also because speaking of Greg here, I will be on New to Mythics coming soon. So look out for that episode. Not the live stream. I never get up that early. Unless I have to go somewhere like really, really early. But I usually don't get up that early on any weekend. Unless I have to be somewhere like really early. But I will look out for that episode. We talk a lot about the past, getting toy collecting in general. I think I went a little too much into some history. But that's for you all to decide if you dare to watch that episode when it appears. So I don't know exactly when that's scheduled, but I had a fun time recording that with Greg on this past Monday after I got home from work, and really cool getting to talk about just collecting in general, not just the Mythic Legions and all that cool stuff. But we kind of just really kind of dived into it. And so with that said, I think because now I'm about almost a half an hour in, let's go ahead and open up the action figure. Now, feel free in the chat to say hi or if you have questions for me about anything that isn't like too disturbingly personal. Just let it loose in the chat while I try to cut this thing open and not cut myself. So I'm hopefully not making a lot of extra racket. Yeah, this cardstock is really thick. Yeah, because it's definitely not glued back. It's very interesting. There we go. Okay, don't damage that back too much. Oh, we got stuff falling out. What was that? Oh. Okay. Little thing here. Oh, that's cool. I almost forgot that these retro card figures have these cool little figure stands, which is really nice. This is actually the first retro carded figure I've opened or ever got besides the his tank Cobra Commander. So there we go. And here he is, the retro carded back metal faced chrome domed Cobra Commander. I'm trying to get my face off the camera so it'll actually just focus on Cobra Commander here. Come on now. I'll get you, Joe. I can't get the hiss down. I try to do the hiss, and if you know me at all, like me and Ryan Clark were kind of talking about this, but I didn't know he did theater. He was an actor, kind of like a stage, I guess what, stage actor? Am I mistaken? Am I remembering wrong? Like a theater actor type of deal, which I find really cool. I couldn't do that on stage. You're lucky I'm able to do this, in front of an audience. Got a little backpack on him. But yeah, like yeah, Ryan, you can correct me or not because I'm trying to remember from the last stream because you mentioned about it, about being part of a theater thing. Because I think we were, yeah, it was a theater. Okay, which is I've always been like tempted to do that in school, but I was too scared. I had stage fright, like you wouldn't believe. But I used to want to be a voice actor. I don't know if I can't remember. Did we mention that? I used to want to be a voice actor when I was a kid. I used to do voices all the time. I still do quite a bit, but they might sound better in my inner ear than they actually sound in the world, even though a lot of people say I sound a lot like these other characters. But there's a big difference between like impressions and actually being able to like act as the character. Like if I do Kermit the Frog too long, my voice is gonna hurt. I don't practice enough to not hurt my voice. So because I have no like acting training or anything like that or vocal training, I have very little guitar training. But I play decent. I can't play everything. But what is supposed to go on that backpack? Is that where the gun's supposed to go? It doesn't look like it. I mean, I guess it's odd. It's an odd place. Okay, I guess that's how it's supposed to work. Okay, well that makes more sense. Kind of wish I would have turned on some music. I would have from time to time put on background music while I'm like doing builds or certain unboxings, but I'm not done that in a while. But yeah, oh yeah, here we got this cool Cobra Commander figure with the back metal base. I might still get the fully armored Cobra Commander figure because that one's a really cool look too. Which is it's sad because I have nothing more than like majority of it's all villains, and that's including the Skeletron crew. I have a total of 5 heroes, 5 actual Joes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This makes 7, even though it's another Cobra Commander, which makes my third Cobra Commander figure so far. With the Mickey Mouse one that doesn't come out of the box, and then the Supreme Cobra Commander you see right there, my thumb's pointing at. So yeah, but he's really cool. Looks nice. I like that this part here is actually a separate piece, even though it's kind of driving me nuts that it keeps falling down on him a little bit. Just gotta get that up on there a bit more. There we go. He's got his knife in that little pocket there. But, coming out of the box, he has 2 trigger hands with vertical hinges. And in the box, besides the blaster in the pack and the knife that I already put into his little leg holster here, he has a pointing right hand. We have a left kind of open hand. And then he has a pair of fists. And this is not much of all of my unboxings, I guess you can kind of say, are kind of like mini reviews too, but even though I think it's the live streams are a lot longer than a normal review video. But he looks really cool. The paint's done really well. I mean, there's some little, this is a main line figure, so get my face out of the frame. Get the focus a little bit, so maybe you can see what I'm seeing on it. There we go. Just kind of what I expect from a figure like that. But the paint's decently crisp for the most part. I do wish the tampo on the Cobra logo was a little bit brighter. So I apologize. But yeah, the little silver rivets and badge pieces are really nice on here. Different again. Not my favorite Cobra Commander look. Actually, I do think the armor one that they just came out with is my favorite one so far. But I don't know. I always find it hard for me to pull the trigger on Joe figures when I'm out in the wild, unless it's like, you know, Zartan or Shipwreck. Shipwreck for sure, because they've only done one Shipwreck, but there's been like 3 different releases for Zartan, and I only have one, and that's the color change one. Put them out in the cold, or run cold water on them, or put him in the freezer. He just turns completely blue, which is odd because that only happened to him really when he was in the sunlight. So they probably should have done the same thing that Super 7 did with the Frozen Lion-O, because you actually have to put him in the sun for him to not be blue, but kind of reverse that to where it turns Zartan blue instead. But that's my take on that whole thing. But it's a really cool figure. Got all the standard articulation you would expect from a G.I. Joe Classified. It is really tight, and I don't want to really mess with the joint. The elbows don't want to bend for me right now. I'm just putting a very little pressure on it, so I'm gonna have to heat that up. But there is a glove swivel. You got your double jointed elbows. You got your bicep swivel. You got your butterfly here as well. You got your hinge rotation. Drop down hips. I wasn't sure this one had drop down hips. Double jointed knees. You got your thigh swivel. No boot cut swivel at all, unfortunately, because there's no boots. His fully leg pants, but you do have your ankle rocker, which again is really tight and kind of like not really wanting to move for the most part, and it does rock. Oh, wait, there is that a boot cut? It does turn here. I almost didn't see that seam, but it does turn there, so that kind of replaces the boot cut. So this breaks up the mold a little bit. Yeah, I hate when it breaks up the line. If it was a fully blue leg, it wouldn't matter, but if it wasn't for that stripe, it probably end up just keeping it in that direction for the most part. Or if I have to take a photo where I have to turn it to keep him, standing, you probably wouldn't see his leg. I just make sure that it would be cut off, or really, fade or blurred out or something. Or like really focus on other parts. But I like the vac metal. It's really nicely done. It's probably the only vac metal modern figure I'll open because it's not the full body and it's just the face, and it's probably less likely to get wore off than, say, the Super 7 vac metalized Thundercats, which I only have the first wave of those. I don't also have Quicksilver and Steel Heart. Didn't pick up Bluegrass or Steel Will on that. I think I'm kind of done with the toy versions from that line, mostly because I don't plan on ever opening those, and I'm actually debating about selling them or giving them away. Very debating them, because also for some odd reason those Silverhawk boxes, they don't stay glued together all that well. I was just moving them around the other day, and right where it seems where it's supposed to be glued at, that seam on pretty much all of them just kind of coming loose. Not to say it's not doing it for the LJN waves of Thundercats, but those Silverhawks, for some odd reason, even on the mainline Silverhawks, the packaging just kept coming apart. I don't know why. It's really odd. But anyhow, that is the figure we opened today. Anyone have any questions? Want to say anything? Mr. Ryan Clark, I'm not for sure, but I think that link I sent you before still works. So if you wanted to hop on, be my guest, but do not feel required. Do you have anything you would like to talk about in this last show that you probably don't get to talk about too much on other programs? Be my guest. Like I said, I kind of just made this idea for the show today, like kind of last minute. So been kind of lazy since Christmas. Oh, that's one thing. That is perfectly fine, brother. And speaking of Christmas, I don't know what everyone else got, but I didn't get any actual action figures for Christmas besides the gift, the prize that I won from Double Jointed. But I did get something I was looking for thanks to my beautiful and lovely girlfriend, Chaos to the Fly. She found these, even though I think she spent a bit too much to get these. And give me a second, I will go get these real quick, and then I will get back to the chat. And I really don't need my headphones on. I'm not talking to anybody. But my girlfriend was able to find me the last two of the Superpowers Kotobukiya, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, line of statues, which is Wonder Woman, and I have the box upside down, and Aquaman. Now, I've been looking for these guys for a while. I had them in my Amazon wish list for like a while, and then they were released. Wonder Woman was like sold out like almost immediately, and so I couldn't find her anywhere. She never popped up. But Aquaman, I still kind of saw him from time to time, but even I think recently he's still kind of sold out. But yeah, so now I have the complete set, all 8 of these Superpowers statues, which now I have that complete collection. Now my thing is for my shelf is I'm trying to find a new 52 DC Essentials for DC Collectibles Hawkman. And I'm still debating if I want to get a Nightwing or a Robin. And then like the old from the late 90s Justice League Hasbro figures that they had. I need a Wonder Woman on that and an Aquaman. Because I don't know if I have a picture. I don't think I have a picture of it anywhere, but you'll see it eventually because I got signs for all this, and I got a couple other signs coming from D Blake, which I also got those in yesterday. I got my D Blake signs that I ordered when he was doing that whole like holiday kind of sale thing. They came in yesterday, and yeah, I have those ideas for that to put on there. I got a nice big Superpowers one to go right in the center of the shelf that these guys are on. Also got a JLA one from the 90s JLA comic being produced at some point, plus a new 52's Justice League one to kind of go with how I'm doing this display. Because I have a bunch of these old Justice League figures I was collecting back when I was working in my local mall when KB Toy Store was still open. So a little bit of my paycheck was going to those back in the day. Let's see. Let's go back to the chats here real quick. Ryan asked, what releases are you looking forward to next year? Well, what I'm really looking forward and hoping actually comes out in the next year is the whole Reign of the Beast wave from Four Horsemen from their Mythic Legions, because I'm super excited for Odysseus since he was announced and he went up for pre-order initially, which is the only thing I got from that whole wave. And so I'm really hoping that was close. I haven't gotten to watch the Four Horsemen the Clock thing on updates for that in a while, so I'm not sure what the status is on those, or if those were on the boat or not. But I'm really looking forward to that. Well, let me see. What else do I have on pre-order coming out? Brutal Realm stuff. I don't know if those were supposed to come out this year. The Odious Kickstarter. Really looking forward to those to come in. I'm not sure how far he is on production of those since that Kickstarter just ended, but he said the last time it took about 13 months, so he had them out pretty quick. So those might not be coming out next year, but probably more likely the year after, I would expect, since also the Inuit and the Ronin just went up for pre-order in Big Bad Toy Store not too long ago, like maybe a week or so ago. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things. Because I know it takes a couple years for these pre-orders from Super 7 to come out. And as much as I would love to think that Beta Theater is going to be out already, I know that's not going to happen. The start of the Series 2 AWOKs from that Kickstarter, really hoping to see those start shipping out. And yeah, yeah, I maybe some more cool Gunpla, so I can get back into building some more like Gundam Wing, Gundams or Gundam Universe figures to finish out that collection of the other ones remaining, especially the Endless Waltz versions. See here. Sammy, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Thanks for stopping by. Even though I probably got to your chat a little bit too late, but if you're still out there, how's it going? Yeah, you remember those statues? I remember I had gotten them a lot of those statues when they were on sale too. Those superpower statues. And I think I found Robin at a place that was going out of business over in Lexington. Because I saw a lot of them kind of. They didn't have any. They didn't have a green. I think they had him. I think they had a Green Lantern, but I think I already had the Green Lantern, and I couldn't remember. But yeah, I started getting these. My brother has a few of them, but he wasn't trying to collect the whole thing because he really just wanted the Green Lantern. But when I start, and that's my flaw, and I think a lot of collectors' flaws, is when we get into a line of anything, we want to have them all. I kind of got that way with the DC Direct statues for Batman v Superman because it felt like it took forever for that Wonder Woman one to come out. So I have all four of the BVS versions, but they ended up reusing the Wonder Woman one for the Justice League set. And I didn't even get the Justice League set. So, but yeah, but looking forward, man. There's so many cool stuff coming out. I mean, mostly I think a lot of it's because I can never tell when these things are going to come out from Four Horsemen. Whatever next year's drops are for Legion's Con, wherever their exclusives are, I'm looking forward to seeing what those are. Maybe not getting them, but it depends on what they are. I'm trying not to be. I mean, I'm kind of failing at that. If you look behind me, I don't have every Four Horsemen Mythic Legion figure, but I got quite a bit. I mean, I am looking forward to that crap, but I don't think he's going to be out for another couple of years. What I'm hoping though, I'm hoping for some cool, I guess, visuals at least of what Mattel's got planned with the DC license, since 2026 is the last year McFarlane will have their DC Multiverse line, and I would love, and I'm pretty sure they're already done with superpowers because they haven't announced another superpower wave since that one with Deadman and Cyborg and Robin, or not Robin, but Nightwing, and I can't remember who the other character was in that wave off the top of my head, which is a bummer because I was really enjoying the superpowers stuff when I could find it. Because I just, again, nostalgia just washes over me and just want to try to get them all, even though I'm missing so many from that McFarlane after like the first like 2 or 3 waves of superpowers. I kind of just like, you're doing too many Batmans. I know you like Batman. Everyone likes Batman. A lot of people like Superman, but you're pushing people away from the line because all you're doing is Batman. We want the teams. We want more than just 3 different versions of Wonder Woman for superpowers. We want, Catwoman. We want Zatanna and Black Canary, especially Black Canary and Zatanna. We didn't get any of those, and I mean, I get it. It's easier to reuse those bucks, and I'm glad they changed the male buck. Those first ones were too damn bulky, but I don't know. I am looking forward if they're going to do, because Supergirl's coming out next year, if he will have figures for that. And actually, what I'm really also hoping, they never announced it, a continuation of the multiverse line from the 2025 Superman movie. Because I would love to get a Hawk Girl. I would love to get a Guy Gardner Green Lantern, even though my brother was swearing that they had him. Like, no, Caesar, they didn't do him in that group. And they didn't do him in that whole set. I have every one of those figures. And now I come to think of it, I didn't even mention the McFarlane Superman figure, the deluxe edition with Crypto for that wired cape. that was also probably one of my top figures of the year. But that's also because of bias, because I'm a huge Superman fan, and getting anything kind of new. Even though I didn't get any of the, you know, Snyderverse version of these of Superman like at all. I have the Bat from Mattel's Justice League like line they did, but I got that in a trade for a bunch of old Star Wars stuff. I think I got that for getting trading and a couple other stuff. Trading in my with a friend from work. I gave him my 3 foot long Naboo Starfighter, or not Starfighter, but Royal Starship playset. I remember buying that in high school. So I had all the parts. The stickers were kind of worse for wear on it. Maybe a little bit of the paint kind of faded from moving around for years, but he enjoys it. And he was planning on like hanging it from the ceiling. His wife saw it, and then she's like, "What in the world did you do?" Because if you've not seen that starship from Phantom Menace, that the actual toy thing is 3 feet long, massive, and when you play with it, you have to slide this part out so you can get to the lower level where the hyperdrive is. The sound effects on that came with a little freaking RF droid fighter that you would shoot at and blow the panels off to reenact that scene when they're escaping from Naboo. And came with a little red R2 droid whose name escapes me. It wasn't magnetic, which would have been cool if they could have done something that you could actually stick it, but it was light enough it could just sit there as long as you're not trying to move it around. But you could not retract the landing gear or nothing, which I think was a missed opportunity. But I wouldn't say I was a huge Star Wars collector, but Phantom Menace kind of got me back into that back in high school for a little bit of time. But I always seem to swap back and forth between lines. But if you didn't know, I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Got Jedi tattooed on my forearm. Got the Rebel Alliance on my shoulder, which needs a lot of touch up after over 20 years. Yeah. But yeah, I guess, but to continue on with that question from Ryan, is like for next year, I'm trying to remember everything that was announced. There's so much cool stuff coming out, but like I think mainly is all the stuff I currently have pre-ordered that should hopefully come out. Maybe the next wave of masks. I still haven't ordered my first wave of masks yet from Loyal Subjects. I really want to get my hands on those, especially since I always run the Rhino as a kid, never had it. Like I said before, we had the Thunderhawk, but it was missing its doors. And I don't remember the motorcycle, the villain motorcycle with the sidecar that shot off. We had the sidecar that shot off with the little part it connected to, but we didn't have the bike. And I don't remember the name of that vehicle because it's one of the bad guy vehicles. I just don't remember the name of it. So if you know it and you're watching this either live, you can either tell me in the chat or you can leave it in the comment below after this is over. If you're getting this far into the rewatch or the replay. But anyway, I'd like to thank everyone. I think we're going to call it a night. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for hanging out, subbing. If you like what I do here on the show, please it'll be helpful if you hit that like button, subscribe. Try to find stuff. There's things on here. Where am I looking at? That's that. I'm still trying to learn all this stuff from StreamYard, and sometimes I can't even see what I'm looking at because there's all these neat little things, and I'm still trying to get used to it all. Yeah, because I got all these new things they just added, like Kong, which actually I probably should have had my headphones on for that. Actually, my headphones aren't even plugged in. I just looked over and they're not even plugged in, so you probably have a double audio on that. I hope not. But yeah, I think we're gonna hop off for the night. I like to play around with stuff. But again, I'd like to thank everyone for hanging out and humoring me, I guess, a little bit on this last show of 2025. Let me know what you're all looking forward to for next year, like Mr. Ryan Clark had asked. Um, because I can't be the only one out there who's looking forward to stuff. Um, but anyway, I think we're going to call tonight. Again, thank you. And a very great rest of your weekend and a great rest of the end of your year and a very, very happy new year coming up. Again, I don't know if I'm going to do a show the first weekend, the first Saturday of the new year. I will keep you all posted on that or keep that bell clicked on for notifications if I do go. I usually have it posted about a good hour or two sometimes before I go live, for the most part. Sometimes I try to do it earlier. But anyway, again, good night, everyone. Take care. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid this for New Year's. And I will see you all in the new year. Peace, guys.